Welcome to this video on perception, the fascinating process through which we interpret and make sense of the world around us. Our perception of the world begins with our senses, which serve as windows to the external environment. Our sense of sight provides us with an array of visual information about the world. The eye, with its complex structures such as the cornea, lens, retina, and optic nerve, captures light waves and transmits to the brain, where they are processed into meaningful visual images. Sound waves are captured by the ear and transformed into electrical signals that are sent to the brain for interpretation. The auditory system, comprising of the outer ear, middle ear, inner ear, and auditory cortex of the brain, enables us to perceive and differentiate between various sounds and frequencies. The chemical senses of taste and smell allow us to detect and distinguish different flavors and odors in our environment. Taste buds on the tongue and olfactory receptors in the nasal cavity transmit sensory information to the brain, where it is processed and interpreted. Our sense of touch provides us with information about pressure, temperature, texture, and pain. Specialized sensory receptors in the skin detect tactile stimuli and transmit signals to the brain, where they are integrated to create our perception of touch. Sensory input alone is not enough to create our perception of the world. Perception involves the complex process of interpreting and organizing sensory information to form a coherent understanding of our surroundings. Sensation refers to the detection of sensory stimuli, while perception involves the interpretation and organization of sensory information. Together, sensation and perception allow us to construct a subjective experience of the world. Our brains use various principles such as proximity, similarity, closure, and continuity to organize sensory input into meaningful patterns and objects. These perceptual principles help us make sense of the complex and often ambiguous information we receive from our senses. Optical illusions and hallucinations provide insight into the complexities of perception. Illusions occur when our brain misinterprets sensory input, while hallucinations involve perceiving sensory information that is not present in the external environment. The brain plays a central role in the process of perception, receiving and integrating sensory information from the environment. Visual information is processed in the visual cortex, located in the occipital lobe of the brain. Different regions of the visual cortex are specialized for processing specific aspects of visual information, such as color, motion, and form. Auditory information is processed in the auditory cortex, located in the temporal lobe. The auditory cortex analyzes sound frequencies, temporal patterns, and spatial locations to create our perception of sound. Our brains integrate information from multiple sensory modalities to create a unified perception experience. Multisensory integration allows us to combine information from vision, hearing, touch, taste, and smell to form a coherent understanding of our environment. Our perception of the world is not solely determined by sensory input. It's also influenced by our past experiences, expectations, and cultural background. Perceptual constancies allow us to perceive objects as stable and consistent despite changes in viewing conditions. Examples include color constancy, size constancy, and shape constancy, which help us maintain a stable perception of the world. Perception is influenced by cultural norms, past experiences, and individual differences. What may be perceived as meaningful or significant in one culture may not be interpreted the same in another. Attention also plays a crucial role in perception, guiding our focus towards relevant sensory information while filtering out distractions. Attentional biases can influence our perception of the world, shaping what we attend to and how we interpret sensory input. From the sights and sounds that surround us to the flavors and textures we savor, perception enriches our lives and shapes our understanding of reality.